So hello everyone, welcome once again to Data Science Man, and in this tutorial we are going to learn about implementation of decision tree classification on a data set. The data set that we are using here is Titanic data set, and in machine learning there are two type of machine learnings. One is supervised machine learning, other is unsupervised machine learning. Where in supervised machine learning you can perform operations like regression and classification, and this Titanic data set that we are going to use will cover or is an example of classification. So the decision tree algorithm that we are going to use is a classification algorithm in supervised machine learning. Here is the data set where we have passenger ID survived. 0 means not survived, 1 means survived after the Titanic accident. Passenger class in which the person was traveling, person's name, gender, age. SIBSP means sibling or spouse. PARCH means parent or child. So the first thing is to load the data. So we will provide link to this data set so that you can download the data set in your computer, and from there you can simply load it in your Google Colab notebook. So just open Google Colab notebook, and in your Google Colab notebook just load this particular file. So here survived 0 and 1. What is the relation of survived 0 and 1 on other columns is what we are going to find. Or in other words, survived 0 1 is the output. That is, survived column is the output and all other columns are inputs. So unnecessary columns like passenger ID, cabin, where most of the values are not available. First thing in machine learning is to drop unnecessary columns. So we will drop passenger ID, cabin, ticket, and everything. I will provide you a simple code so that you can import pandas as PD and simply use that code to read the data. DF is your data frame. So while starting this video, we have created the data frame, and df is equal to df dot drop, axis is equal to columns. So here we are deleting these values. Okay, now the new df has survived, that is output, and all are input variables. When you will use the info function in pandas, it checks for all type of missing values. So you can see in survive we have 891 non-null values, in P class also, but in age we have 714 missing values. So before using machine learning or applying machine learning on this data set, what we have to do, we have to simply fill these missing values or drop these missing values. So you have to do that data cleaning for you. Okay, so now you write df dot drop na. This will drop all missing values or all not a number or NaN values that is there in the data set. Okay, so we will write df is equal to df dot drop na, and when you will see that now we have 714. I will provide link to some videos that will help you in understanding how to handle missing data in your data set. Now drop na has simply dropped all missing values, and here is a simple decision tree of Titanic. For example, we enter with gender. In gender, you can see we have age. So gender can be either male or female. Then you have age. So if person is male, and then that person's age can be greater than 9.5 or less than 9.5. If the age is less than 9.5, then 60% of them died. Okay, if age is less than 9.5, were they with sibling or spouse? If sibling spouse count is greater than equal to 3, then 2% died. Okay, and sibling spouse count is less than 3, then 0.892% survive. So this is how decision tree kind of works. And in our data set, this is what we have to do. Okay, so in our data set, after applying the info, now let's begin. So here we are first going to create or separate input variables from the output variables. Okay, so all other variables other than survived are our output variables. So we will just drop it so that it becomes our input variables and save it as capital X, and Y will be df dot survived, which will be a series. So X will be a data frame, Y will be a series. Here we forgot to write axis is equal to columns. So now when you will write axis is equal to columns, your input and output will be created. So first you have to create input. Now you can see the data frame. Input should be in 2 dimension. So before applying machine learning, make sure that input or inputs are in 2D and the output is always in 1D. This input, you can see all variables are not numerical. So like gender has categorical values, male and female, string values. Embarked also has SCQ. So what we are going to do, x dot x is equal to x dot s map. So what this line says is we are using the map method here. In map method, we are using a dictionary and we are labeling male as 1 and female as 2. Okay, so we can do that. Or what we can do, we can also say male 0, female 1. So if you want to check for male, you will press 0. If you want to check for female, you will press 1. So you will see that. So you can do these type of labelings, and this map method when used with the dictionary will give you that type of output and it will change. So now in X you can see we have male female, and when you will apply this, so X dot X, your column name will become that. Similarly in embarked we have 3 station codes: S for Southampton, C for Cherbourg, and Q for Queenstown. So people embarking from these 3 stations. Okay, so we are also changing them to 1, 2, 3. So this simple line x dot embarked will do it. Now we have replaced embarked and sex with these values, and all other columns are numerical. Okay, now after changing the label names, we have changed all numerical variables, or we have converted all object values or string values into numerical values. So 1 means male in gender, 2 means female. In barked, we have to remember 1 is S, 2 is C, and Q is 3. So whenever you have to check the probability of person, will that person survive or not, you can simply do this. Now we will do train test split. So in train test split, what you have to do is first from sklearn.model selection, you will import train test split. The meaning of this line is that we have total of 712 rows. So this is our entire data set after dropping missing values in age. So we have considered we have 712 correct values of the data set. So we can break this data set into 2 parts: training and testing. So let's say we will take 70% for training the model and rest 30% for testing the model. So this is very important. So that's why in sklearn there is a model selection module. from where we are importing the train test split class. And in this train test split class, you have to provide X, that is your inputs, Y, that is your output, and train size or test size, which you will just see. So it will give you four outputs: X train, X test, that means input training data, input testing data, Y train and Y test, that is output training data and output testing data. Length of train, Y train and X train, that means length of values in these two datas will be same, and length of X test and Y test will be same. So here we will use train test split X, Y, and here you can either provide the train size or test size. So we will say test size is zero point 0.7, this zero point 0.3. So this will make our testing size 30%. Okay. Now you will have these four values. So if you will write length of X train 498, that means out of 712, 498 values have gone into training, and with 214 passenger values we will test. So the simple meaning is there are 712 passengers, 498 passengers with all their properties and their values we have taken for training, and 214 values we have taken for testing. So we will teach the model for these 498 values. So model will learn that because it knows whether these 498 people died or survived. So from their values like their gender, their passenger class, their the fare that they paid, their age, from every thing that you have, from every property that we have, they will learn, and model will try to create this decision tree relationship. Okay, and then we will test on other data. So from sklearn we import tree, and this is the algorithm that we are going to use, and then you will create a model object from the decision tree classifier class. So the class that we are using is decision tree classifier. So model, from tree we can get the decision tree classifier, and model is created. Now you will train the model. Okay, so you will write model dot fit x train comma y train. Okay, now when you will write model dot fit x train comma y train, you will see decision tree classifier has been put. Now after this, what you are going to do, you will write, so with this line model dot fit, model has learned relationship between input data and output data for all 498 values. And now for the all testing values, it is saying its score is 77%. So that means the accuracy of our model in predicting the survival of passengers is 77.5%. Now we will write model dot predict. So for example, let's take example of this passenger who was traveling in class 3. Its gender is 1, that is male, age is 22, traveling with one sibling or spouse, not traveling with any parent or child, paid a fare of 7.25, and embarked station 1, which is S. So based on passengers data, you can select any value and write it in the same order. Okay, just put all the commas and put two double quotes because input is always 2D. Okay, so you have to put two square brackets, sorry, and inside the square brackets you have to provide the values in the same order that you have to remember, like the same order in which you created your data frame, your input data frame, you have to create that. Okay, so remember the same order, and when you will run this, so model is giving you array 0, it will give you a warning. Just ignore the warning for now. It is saying array 0. Let's change 1 to 2. That means passenger class from 1 to 2, array 1. So if this same passenger was traveling in first class, like if a passenger, uh, sorry, if the passenger traveling in third class was female, okay, then she would have survived. But if this same passenger was a male, then he would not have survived. This shows that in the data set, if you will see the exploratory data analysis part of Titanic dataset, which I will share one video in the description where we have done exploratory analysis. So in the exploratory analysis, you will understand that uh, most of the females, survive, most of them, and particularly females traveling in upper classes like second class or first class also survive. So that's why this prediction is telling us this value 1. Now you can similarly try for different type. If you will write df, like df where df survived is equal to 1, okay, so this is the data frame of all survived people. If you will write sex dot value counts, so it will give you a ratio. So for every passenger that survived, their gender value count is 195. So you can see 195 females survived and only 93 males survived. Okay, that's why this is a very big factor in deciding the output gender. Passenger class 1 we have done now. So one passenger class male person run not survived, male. Okay, if I say age is 52, survive. So we can see it depends on many factors, and this is how you can predict the survival of passengers in Titanic dataset. If you like, if you want this dataset, please comment in the comment section. I will provide you link to the dataset and link to this file, or I will provide a link to this file anyway. You can download it from there. Thanks for watching the video. Have a nice day. If you like more, or if you like to have more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel. Data Science Man.